Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Too Soon Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Noah. Joining me as usual, co-host Sam Nathan. Say what's up.
Guys.
So, on the agenda for today, we have a few things. Sam took a little bit of a spill not long ago, so we're talking helmets a little bit. I actually don't know what helmet he got to replace his old one, so we're going to have a little bit of a chat about that. New Santa Cruz Blur. Really cool bike, especially Leadville just happened, so we want to talk about that, how the Blur fit into there, how it all did, yada, yada, yada. Sam has a rant. He's tired from work, and he's fed up, so Sam's going to have a rant. I want to talk some hipster shit. And then we're going to discuss the future of the pod a little bit because some things are changing and we're going to see how everything progresses. So let's just get straight into it. Sam, you had a bit of a spill on the gravel bike. On the gravel bike, right?
Yes.
So I'll let you start.
Well, it was relax morning to work, and I just turned this corner on some wet asphalt and lost the front wheel. Banged myself up pretty good. It goes to show that wearing your helmet is important. I think it saved. It saved a couple of things in my head.
I mean, it's not like there was many brain cells left to begin with, but you know, I'm glad we've got what we've got.
I'm saving the little few I have left. So
yeah, that for those wondering, that's why we didn't have a podcast last week, was because Sam was in dire straits.
Just letting myself relax a little bit.
Yeah. What helmet did you get to replace your old one? I'm curious.
So my old helmet was the Oakley Aero 5. My goodness, I bought the helmet and don't even remember the name.
Man, I guess you did hit your head hard, hey?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's a Falconer Aero 2VI. That's what I got.
Okay. Did you get one of like the limited edition colors or just like basic?
No, I just got white.
Ah, okay. Can't go wrong with a white sweep protection helmet.
Exactly.
That's fair. Can't blame you for that. No, those are sweet helmets. Unfortunately, they don't fit my head very well. I was debating getting one of those a while back, but it doesn't fit my head very well.
Oh, I'm pretty comfy in it, so worth the try.
Goes to show you should try on a helmet before you buy it, because it might not fit your head very well. Okay, so I think that about closes up our helmet chat. Short and sweet. New Santa Cruz Blur. The old Blur came in both a like regular XC configuration as well as they call trail configuration. The new Blur now just comes in what they call their race and their normal specs. The like race builds are all spec'd with RockShox suspension, 120 front and rear. That doesn't change on the normal spec versions. You're still 120 front and rear. But yeah, the race-oriented versions are focused on RockShox suspension, focused on flight attendant on those higher-end builds, as well as slightly faster rolling tires and more just race orientation, like flat bar, basically no rise to the front end. The more normal builds, you do actually get a riser bar, a slightly shorter stem, and some more acceptable tires for everyday riding. Personally, I like that Santa Cruz decided to go the route of altering most of the other spec choices rather than just throwing a 10 mil longer fork on it and calling it's like, hey, we have an Evo XC bike for you that we've.
Yeah, I think is a cool, neat little concept.
I've made more than my fair rant about Evo XC bikes. If you're unfamiliar, you should go back and listen to our other podcast because I've definitely talked about it ad nauseum. So, um,
So
Yeah.
then that means the big question is, now that this is out, does it still look too much the same as all the other ones?
actually, this iteration of the Blur looks very similar to the old iteration of the Blur. Like, yes, it's a flex stay rear suspension design with the shock up against the top. Well, it's not quite up against the top tube, but it's in that general area. But it does actually look fairly distinctive compared to other XC race bikes these days, especially because they kept the cables external. Mechanics rejoice.
No headset routing, which is actually the dream.
Yeah. I actually built an old generation Blur quite recently at the shop, and it was surprisingly not fully tube and tube. The dropper post was not fully tubed, so I did have to put sheathing in the dropper post when I built that, but like brakes were just pushed through. Actually no, I think it was the other way around. I think the dropper was tubed but the brake wasn't. That's what it was.
Partially, yeah.
So honestly, yeah, kudos to Santa Cruz. Looks like they made a pretty wicked bike. I am
Looks
looking
cool.
forward to potentially getting the opportunity to try one. Hopefully it'll probably end up being next season if we get any chance, but
Yeah, I think so
especially
too.
because as we'll discuss later on in the future plans of the podcast, the things are changing a little bit for me and how I'm going to be able to ride for the rest of the season. So we'll get there later. But yeah, kudos to Santa Cruz for putting out a very sensible bike. They steepen the seat angle. The head angle is not too much slacker than it once was. Like, it's relatively slacker than it once was, but just a generally more modern bike. They lowered the seat tube so you can fit a longer dropper. They extended the reach so that you can run a shorter stem. Just generally very sensible changes that match the modern geometry climate. That's about all I can say for
That's
it. Kudos.
Neat little thing.
Yeah. Kudos to Santa Cruz for their new Blur. On the topic of new XC bikes, probably the single largest XC bike race, definitely in North America. I want to say it gets a lot of attention globally. Leadville just happened. I don't want to be the guy to spoil it, but by the time this podcast come out, if you haven't already heard, you either don't care or you're living under a rock. Keegan won for the 6th time in a row, which is now he's now tied the former record of consecutive wins at Leadville. A lot of the big talk before Leadville was we had a World Tour pro in the form of Quinn Simmons, little Trek rider, fat handlebar mustache, just the most American man you can ever meet. He decided to come and race Leadville. He did okay. He got 9th. But a lot of the big chat was, oh, is Quinn Simmons going to give Keegan a run for his money? And it was kind of interesting to watch, but he just didn't have the legs. I don't think he's used to racing at altitude the entire time. I think he's used to being at altitude and then come down, then altitude and then come down. But yeah. So that was some of the chat for the whole Quinn Simmons situation. Kudos to Keegan. He put on one hell of a fight, and I think it was a sprint finish after basically 6 hours of racing, which is fucked. A 2-rider sprint finish. I think Keegan just won it out. But yeah, Santa Cruz did actually get a pretty good result under Simon Pelot at Leadville. I believe he was top 10. So goes to show that just because they left the cables external doesn't mean they made a bad race bike. You don't have to keep putting them cables through the headset. Please stop. On a mountain bike, at least. But yeah. So Simon Pelot did a really good job at Leadville this year. Kudos to him. And I think that's about all I have to say regarding Leadville. Sam, did you have any comments for Leadville?
Lots of 32-inch prototypes.
There was a new one from Ventum. Yeah, Ventum had a 32-inch prototype rocking the Intend fork. They actually put a flight attendant damper in that Intend fork, so that was kind of funky.
I just remember seeing that popping around. Yeah.
I don't remember if there was any other pros on 32 during Leadville, but I know that Ventum was one.
I find it's a cool concept, but I find it looks wonky. Wheels look massive.
Yeah, it is a little bit out of proportion, especially like a lot of these guys are sometimes on the shorter side, so their bikes are already kind of small.
Yeah.
And then you just throw these massive wheels on it, and I'm like, and if it's fast, sure. Does it look good? Nah.
I didn't see though, but was there a lot of people who tried and do like aero wheel setups for that race, or there was nothing at all?
There was definitely a few. I think Simon Pelot, like the Santa Cruz rider that I mentioned, he was running those new reserve gravel wheels that we talked about in a recent podcast on some boost hubs in his Santa Cruz Blur. There was a couple of people running an NVG SCS 6.7 on the front, and then just a regular mountain bike wheel on the back. Again, all laced to boost hubs, just because mountain bikes, boost hubs. Yeah, there was definitely more than a fair few aero wheel setups happening at Leadville. I don't know if you saw, Sam, 5Dev came out with this fun little product that allows you to put like road brake levers on flat bars so that you have this really nice aero tucked position.
Yeah.
And people were throwing a fit over it. So I think 5Dev also put up a prize purse for if you won Leadville using that thing. I don't nobody did.
It was like $12,000.
I think it was $25 for men and women, like $12.50 each.
Yeah.
Anyhow. No, there was some really funny looking aero things going on. There was a lot of 3D printing for aero fairings on the backs of fork legs, as well as seat posts. A lot of people running high posts at this year's race just because they took out a lot of the technical descending in the first portion of the race. It was still 100 miles, but they extended Columbine up and over the top, and then you have to come back up and over to come down. But most of the technical descending and climbing in the first half of the race was removed in favor of basically just gravel road. So people were like super aero optimizing for this year's iteration of the race.
Why not just do it on a gravel bike?
Because it is a mountain bike race, and you are required to use a mountain bike.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's like the only restrictions within Lifetime is you are required to use the bike that is the race. Like if it's a mountain bike race, you use a mountain bike. If it's a gravel race, you use a gravel bike.
I see. I mean, slap a fork on it. Technically, it's a mountain bike. There's some gravel bikes you can put like 2.3s on there.
225s. 225 is about as big as it gets. But in any case, yeah, after the drop bar ban that came in for, I think there's Leadville and Little Sugar this year. A lot of people were using drop bar mountain bikes at those races historically, as well as I think Schwalmegen. This year, given that drop bar on mountain bikes is banned this year, honestly, there's a lot of ingenuity happening in this pro field for how can I get as aero as I can without using drop bars. I'm surprised that we didn't see much of the like last year we saw Kate Courtney putting her hands on the fork crowns to get like really nice and aero, and like she had even placed blips there so that she could shift with her hands there, and she was just pulling away from everyone in the pack with her hands on the fork crowns. I don't think we saw much of that this year.
Oh, well then.
I thought we'd see more of that, but here we are.
Guess it wasn't cool enough.
No, not cool enough at all. I think that wraps up what I have to say about Leadville. Sam, are you satisfied with Leadville?
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I was working and we came
Did you watch the highlights?
No.
You should watch the highlights. Why am I just I'm just like I'm the guy that relays all the pro racing info to you.
I honestly, like, this week after my just been sleeping and not doing much. So
That's true. You hit your head. The baby needs some rest.
yeah, kind of stayed off screens for a little bit.
That's valid. I respect your restraint there. So, Sam, before we started recording, you were telling me that you're a little peeved with some things happening at work. More not like work itself, but just the bikes that you're working on at work.
Yeah. Please wash your bikes and put oils on your chain. It's ridiculous. Like, this week, it's ridiculous. I think I've replaced like 40 chains because they're like so dry that they just snapped. Or people like, I need you to kind of fix some bearing creaking. And then I'm like, yeah, just bring your bike. I'll do it like in 2-3 days. And they bring their bike and it's got like 45 years of gunk stuck on it.
Yeah. Definitely the cleaning the bike before you bring it to the mechanic is a big one. At least if part of their job, like if you bring your bike to a shop for them to do a full tune-up and that involves a like deep cleaning of the bike, like you don't have to be super thorough, but like at least give it a rinse.
That I don't mind. Like, that's fine. But like what's funny is like at where I'm working right now at the hill, there's a bike station with like 8 hoses. Like, they can at least just rinse it or something.
That's true. There's literally a bike wash station right outside of your workshop.
Exactly. That people completely ignore it and never. Nope, don't use it. We even sell muck off soap refills, and people don't even use it.
I don't know,
like,
man.
I feel like people listen to like or like are too much on forums or listen too much to people saying water's bad for your bike.
Water's bad for your bike. Water's bad for your bike if you pressure wash it directly into the bearings, which is realistically kind of hard to do even with a pressure washer.
You ride in the rain and the mud, so technically, wash it. That's all. I just want people to start washing their bikes more, or just or
even with a pressure washer, it's pretty hard to. Sorry, you go ahead.
Or if they don't have time, then I don't mind washing it for you, but I'm going to charge you for it.
Yeah, like even with a pressure washer, it is astonishingly hard to actually blow all the grease out of your bearings. Like, you have to pretty intentionally blast your bearings with a pressure washer to like blow the grease out of it.
We have a pressure washer at work for like when we clean our rental bikes. And I use it every time I go riding and wash my bike. And I tear my bike down just to check every 2 weeks to see how it greases up. And it's pretty rare that I open it and there's nothing left. Like, there's still the same amount of grease that I put in the month before.
Yeah.
And it's not like, and what's funny is most of the bikes that I get that are dirty, it's not like cheap bikes. People have cheap bikes actually wash their stuff, or like have like more entry level bikes. Like, they bring their bike and they're like proud to bring you their bike to fix it. It's clean. It's like $10,000 to $15,000 pivots and Santa Cruzes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
It's the people that can afford to buy it again that. It's the people that can afford to buy it again that don't take as good care of it.
Like 2 weeks ago, this guy brings us a nice, 2 years ago, the pivot made like a brown colorway Firebird, spec'd with like flight attendant and everything RockShox makes wireless. His AXS dropper post stanchion was now silver. $800 post.
That's so sad.
Gone.
That's so sad.
And like the brown paint is actually stained now by the dirt because he does. Makes me cry.
That's so sad. So, moral of the story, kids.
Please wash your bikes.
If you're going to take your bike to the mechanic, at least give it like a light rinse. Maybe. Also, no bugs. Don't bring bugs into the shop. We don't like spiders on your bikes. Stop it.
Yeah, don't. Infested with termites.
Yeah. We don't need that shit in the bike shop. Get it away.
No, thank you. Yes. Plus, transmissions will last longer if you wash your bike. Oil
Saving
it.
money.
Lots of money.
Spend a little bit of money and time to spend less money later. Okay. Is that? Are you satisfied with your rant, Sam?
That's it. That's all I had to say. I just want people
Okay.
to wash their bikes a little more.
I'm glad you could get that off your chest. I want to talk some hipster shit. I have mentioned previously on the podcast that I have purchased a rigid mountain bike that is going to act as a bike packing / fuck around rig. I've recently taken delivery of said bike. And I took it for my first ride today. For those of you local to Ottawa, you are familiar with the Gatineau Park. I took it there. It was an absolute blast. I had so much fun. Quick rundown. It is a full steel frame and fork with a flat bar, naturally. It's like 90s mountain bike geometry, but modernized in all the right ways. It's like, it comes with a 70 mil stem. I might go longer. Not really sure. It's a 75-degree seat angle. It's a 67-degree head angle. Rigid steel fork, suspension corrected for 120 mil. But is UDH compatible. So I have Eagle 90 on it, which I'm so stoked with. So stoked. And yeah, the wheels on it are a bit shit. I'm kind of just waiting to clap them on a rock, and then I'll get some nicer ones, but whatever.
Are you running like a standard MTB crank and chainring, or?
It's a race face affect crank with an NSB chainring. It's a boost spacing crank. Yeah. It's a regular. It's 24 mil spindle, which is kind of cool. I didn't realize race face did 24 mil spindle, but here we are.
Yeah, on the A effect, yeah, it said 20. Yeah.
So, more durable bearings. Big fan. Or at least bigger ball bearings, which are in theory more durable. But we'll see how it holds up. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to go bike packing on it before the end of this year. That we'll get into in the next section again. Next season, I definitely intend on doing hopefully some longer bike packing trips. I think I talked on a previous episode that I did go on my first ever bike packing trip this year. It was just an overnight. It was 2 days on my gravel bike, Cervelo Aspero, that, if you know, has basically 0 mounts. So I was struggling for room to place things on the bike, but we made it happen. Also, way too big of a chainring. Way too big of a chainring on that thing. So, yeah, hopefully I'll get a little bit more of a chance to ride this, my hipster bike. I'm calling it Veronica. I'll put pictures up on screen because the bike is like this beautiful burgundy color. And burgundy, for those of you who've seen Anchorman, burgundy, Ron Burgundy, but I can't call my bike a dude's name. So, female version of Ron Burgundy, Veronica Corningstone, Veronica, cool, done, dusted.
Nice.
It was a bit of a lengthy thought process. We made it there. So yeah, I'm hopefully gonna get a bit more of a chance to ride it before I can't. And then I will hopefully have some thoughts on rigid mountain biking, because I did it for the first time ever today. And holy fuck, it was so much fun. I had an absolute blast. My hands hurt, but I had an absolute blast.
Oh, actually, you know what? Because you're talking about new bikes. This week, got lucky. The Da Vinci rep let us a new Spartan. So I tried out a new Spartan before my crash. Wicked descent bike, honestly. Like, it's a plow downhill bike. Pedaling though is not so fun. It's a little bit heavy, like real heavy, and slightly sluggish. But on a park bike, pretty sick descent bike.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess like alloy frame, I imagine it's encroaching on that 40-pound mark.
We have a large. I don't have a scale at work to weigh it, but it's heavier than my bike.
Yeah, I think you said your bike was what, like 37?
I think it's around 37. That thing has to be pushing 40.
Yeah. Oh, if you get another chance to ride it, I'd love to get some more detailed opinions.
Yeah, I didn't get to ride it much. I did 2 runs with coaching, but descending, I had fun. Honestly, like for what it is, it's a pretty fun bike to go downhill. Pedaling is less.
Yeah, right on.
I think it's the mullet setup.
That could be it. Yeah. Now I'm so like averse to trying mullet on my own bike because I don't want to buy a wheel and like swap out my link and all that just to not like it. So I'm just rocking 29. I know I like it.
If you want,
fine.
if there's Crankworks coming to Quebec, like a couple weeks. If I find like wheels or rims near a dumpster that are still like possible, I'll get you a 27.5 rim.
I appreciate that. I thought you were gonna suggest that I come out and fucking try and demo one, and I'm like, that's a bit ambitious for your boy right now. If I find a
rim near a dumpster that's still plausible, I'll get you one. There you go. You'll be able to try it.
Listen, so long as it doesn't wear a hole through my frame, it's fine.
Perfect.
On the topic of wheels, I just have to tension my new wheels that I bought rims off of Sam, some Zip 30 Motos, laced them up to some 1-up hubs, Sapram race spokes, if those of you care about spokes. They're laced. I have to tension them. I'm really trying to get it done before the end of the season, but we'll see, or the end of my season here, which I suppose takes us on nicely to how, like, the future of the show. Some things are changing soon. For the fall, from September to Christmas time, I am going to be away. I'm going to be in Florida on an internship for school. However, I am bringing my gravel bike. I'm bringing both wheel sets. So I'm going to do some road, some gravel. And yeah, but I think I really only have room to bring one bike. And for me, that has to be the gravel bike. Just the nature of it. So I think Sam is going to be our resource for mountain bike riding things in the way of like demoing new bikes and things like that. I'm going to try and relay some info on like the riding scene down in Tampa, Florida. So we will see how all that goes. Literally the first thing I intend on doing when I get there is find the sickest local bike shop and go ask them where to ride. That's literally plan A. Yeah. It's like, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm going to go ask the locals and be like, yo.
Oh. After the big 20th, after winter comes, podcast, it's all over, guys. We're done.
Nope. It's not over. Nope. Nope. No. But yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more focused on the drop bar side of things for the fall, just because I'll be unable to ride anything else, more than likely. But yeah, Sam's going to be our correspondent for more mountain bike gravity things I'm probably going to keep up with pro racing. I hope to be able to put out more content actually when I'm down there, because I should actually have more free time.
Yeah, me too. My
So
schedule's going to get better.
yeah, I'm going to try and get more than just Sam on the podcast. I know you all love Sam so much. I love him too. But I think for the sake of Sam's schedule, really, I'm going to try and get at least 2 episodes of the podcast recorded each week. Hopefully make reels for each of them. It'll probably be Sam and then another person each week. So we'll have some guest episodes. If it's someone that Sam would also be interested to talk to, which I'll confer with Sam, we could have 3-man episodes. That could be really cool. Yeah. But so hopefully more content as of September. That's my plan. But a little bit less mountain bike for me. A little bit more drop bar. Hopefully some more mountain bike from Sam. I'm going to try and be on Sam's ass to actually do his fucking homework.
Oh, no, don't worry. I've got a couple new bikes I'm gonna be able to test because we've got demos, and then plus there's Crankworks coming, so I'm gonna have a lot of stuff that I'll be able to talk about.
Good, very nice. And then wintertime, I guess. We live in Canada, the Great White North, but not like the BC side of Canada where you actually can still ride mountain bikes in the winter. We live in the part of Canada where you absolutely cannot ride mountain bikes in the winter. So
if you go to Bromo,
fuck you mean if you go to Bromo?
They ride mountain bikes at beginning of February.
Yeah, because Bromo doesn't get any snow. Anyhow, yeah, riding mountain bikes riding bikes period isn't really feasible for us in the wintertime. However, I have a plan that I intend on keeping you guys updated with through the winter. I'm going to start doing a little bit of structured training. I've never done structured training on the bike before through the winter, and I'm going to see just how fit I can get. This is mostly a coping mechanism to try and keep up with my friends in the springtime, but we'll see. So yeah, I would say content for the wintertime is going to be mostly like news things. There's not going to be a lot of riding from us. And my training journey, doing some structured training for the first time through the winter. Sam, what do you have going in the winter? I know you do a whole lot of skiing.
Yeah, skiing, boot fitting with work. We'll try to find a way to also kind of stay fit on the bike. So like maybe because in 20 or the summer of 7, I'm gonna try like I think it's four or five big gravel races that we have here in Quebec. It's part of what they call Défi des Quatre. So there's 4 events from April to May, big distances. So I want to get kind of fit and in shape for that to see if what I can squeeze out for results. I'm not planning on winning, but I just want to see how I can get fitter to not die after 100 years of.
Yeah, that's isn't that what we all want, to be able to actually have fun after the race?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to call it a day. We talked about some good news things. Talked a little bit of optimization for Leadville. We had a little bit of a rant. I had some hipster chat. Because rigid mountain biking is probably the most hipster thing out there. And then, yeah, a little bit of update for you guys on how this is all going to be going forward. So, Sam, thank you very much for joining me today, as always.
Well, thank you for having me again.
For those of you watching at home, thank you very much for getting this far in the episode, if you did make it this far. We appreciate any and all feedback. If you liked something, tell us what it was down in the comment section down below. If you didn't like something, we want to know. We want to improve. If you hate our face, leave a comment, engagement.
Tell us.
You know, tell us specifically whose face you hate. We want to know.
Mine's definitely uglier.
What do you mean? You're so pretty, Sam. Anyhow, yeah, thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, leave it a like, comment, subscribe if you want to keep up with the episodes going forward. Follow us on socials, spoketoosoon.cc on Instagram. Each of our independent socials are also tagged on there as well. So we will see you guys in the next episode, hopefully very soon. Ciao.
Bye-bye.